savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours, les vaches broutent une herbe bien verte. Dans ces conditions idéales, et grâce à son savoir-faire crémier unique, Elle Vire vous offre le meilleur. Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France.
Okey, hai, kembali lagi bersama saya, Yana. Okey, ini untuk yang sesi kedua, pukul 2 hingga pukul 4, bergantung pada keadaan. Okey, sebelum tu saya nak minta tolong yang mana dah join live kita, tolong like, share dan follow kita punya page House of Ingredient. Hari ni event kita adalah brand Elle Vire, Elle Vire. Okey, Elle Vire. So hari ni saya nak bagi tahu kita produk ni ada promotion untuk butter. Kita ada dua jenis, sama ada unsalted dengan salted. Harga dia sebelum ni RM31.90, tapi untuk hari ini promotion RM29.90 sahaja. Kenapa saya betul-betul beria nak ajak korang datang ke HOI setiap kali ada event? Sebab tak kisah sama ada home bakers ataupun suri rumah, saya nak you all datang ke HOI, join event kita setiap kali. Sebab kita nak share produk-produk yang bagus, kita nak share, you all ada pengalaman bercakap dengan chef secara live. Apa-apa soalan nak tanya dengan chef kita, digalakkan. So mana-mana nak timbul ilmu kan, rasa macam nak tahu basic untuk bakers, jemput datang ke HOI. Walaupun you all bukan bakers tapi nak ada basic untuk bakers kan, saya sangat-sangat digalakkan untuk datang ke HOI. Register pun secara percuma, tiada bayaran apa-apa. Boleh datang ke HOI, makan dessert yang kita sediakan, datang makanan yang kita sediakan. Lepas tu boleh join kelas kita. Sebab itu saya push you all untuk rapat-rapat follow kita punya page House of Ingredient untuk dapatkan informasi yang terkini. So, saya nak bagi tahu promo untuk lagi satu untuk whipping cream Elle Vire. Harga dia sebelumnya RM23.50, tapi untuk hari ni RM22.80 sahaja 1 liter. Lepas tu kita ada mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone cheese harga dia sebelumnya RM48.90, tapi hari ni RM47.90 sahaja. Okey, lagi satu saya nak bagi tahu you all, kita ada free gift. Untuk pembelian RM80 ke atas, RM80 ke atas, saya akan bagi free gift salah satu. Ini adalah whisk, yang ini adalah cutter cake. So pembelian RM80 ke atas akan dapat salah satu ni. Dan pembelian RM100 ke atas akan dapat ni hygiene piping bag. Ni tak ada jual kat mana-mana. Kita akan bagi free gift sahaja untuk pembelian hari ni. So saya harap you all boleh dapatkan ni sebab tak ada jual kat mana. Dan hygiene piping bag ni memang bagus dan tahan lasak. Last kali pembelian RM120 ke atas, kita akan dapat bagi free gift cream cheese cutter. Biasanya kalau mana yang guna cream cheese ni kan ada masalah untuk keluarkan cheese semua, betul tak? So kita akan kita bagi free gift untuk ni lah cream cheese cutter. Okey, lagi satu saya nak bagi tahu, kita ada barangan elektrik, jualan barangan elektrik untuk brand Kenwood. Harga normal dia RM1,599, tapi untuk hari ini promo dia RM999 sahaja. Banyak sangat reduce ni, daripada RM1,599 dapat RM999 saja. Kan, berbaloi kan? So kalau rasa macam nak apa barang tu ialah Kenwood kitchen machine dapatkan sekarang dengan harga RM999. Okey, sebelum Chef kita mulakan demo live, saya nak minta tolong sangat lagi sekali, tolong follow rapat-rapat kita punya page House of Ingredient untuk tarik lagi ramai followers, untuk ajak lagi ramai kawan-kawan untuk tengok live kita. Yang hari ni untuk sesi kedua ni pukul 2 hingga pukul 4. Stay tune, jangan ke mana-mana, teruskan sampai habis. Lagi satu sebab kita nak share, tengok apa yang chef kita guna, produk apa yang chef kita guna. Okey, kita serahkan dekat live kita, chef kita lah.
Vous savez, un bon pâtissier n'est rien sans les meilleurs produits. Je vais vous livrer mon secret. Ça se passe ici, en France, en Normandie. Avec la pluie qui tombe un peu tous les jours,
thank you for coming for the second session. Today, Chef Arief will be preparing something much more, I would say, an intermediate level dessert, which comprises of many different components. Okay, so I'm Jonathan. Welcome to HOI House of Ingredients, where they have facilitated this event. And today, as you can see, we are promoting the brand Elle Vire that we are representing. So my colleagues are at the back, Ms. Axel and also Mr. Carl, who you may also look for further information if you would like to ask. And also Chef Arief here is to assist you on any technical questions that you have on applications of the products. So, just a quick question, has anybody been using Elle Vire for your baking and whatnot? Or this is the first time for you? Maybe some of your first time, maybe you have used before, alright? So just a brief introduction about Elle Vire. Elle Vire is actually two rivers situated in Normandy, and that's where it all started in 1945, from a small factory that produced butter and cream, and are now producing many other more baking and pastry solutions throughout the whole world. Alright, Elle Vire is two rivers, okay, not Sungai Klang, not Sungai Kita or whatever, okay? To properly pronounce it, you have three words there. Elle Vire, alright? Not Elle Vire or whichever that you may imagine, alright? Elle Vire, if you stick all of them together, will be Elle Vire, alright? So, what are the products that we are promoting today? It's actually the whipping cream, excellent whipping cream, 35%, which is a single origin whipping cream from Normandy itself. I shall elaborate a little bit more why is it from Normandy, alright? And then we have mascarpone as well from the brand. We have cooking cream, we have light light cooking cream as well, 16%. And of course today we are not going to highlight those. What we are highlighting is the whipping cream, the butters that we are going to be using, and also furthermore we have the cream cheese that is made in France. Right? Cream cheese that you may know, they are from Australia, they're from different parts of Europe, there's American cream cheese. So today we focus everything that is from Elle Vire is made in France. Right? So you can taste the dairy, the sweetness, the savouriness, the slight acidity from the cream cheese. For those who have tried the cream cheesecakes, the chilled cheesecake and the baked cheesecake is made with the Elle Vire cream cheese that you can see outside in the fridge. Alright? So the taste profile is not as salty, not as heavy as Australian or American cream cheese. It's on the lighter side, sweeter in dairy flavour and slight acidity and savouriness to it. Hence, Elle Vire produces a lot of products,
Hello， 回到来我们这个 HOI House of Cuisine 的这个现场直播的第二场。OK， 刚刚早上的如果你们有 follow 到我们，或者你们有看到的话，你也是看到老师解释的很清楚，这个牛油跟这些的奶油 whipping cream 全部是怎样的用法，怎样的做法。所以这个是可以讲就是 Elle Vire 的这个品牌是比较专业、比较纯的那个牛油和它的鲜奶油。然后呢，今天呢，我们有现在来到第二场，苏老师教的方式是比较多层次的，所以你们给个 like 和分享，你就可以收到，你们可以回去看回这个直播。所以如果你们要详细一点，你们要它的那个食谱 recipe， 你们可以 PM 我们这个 Facebook， 我们就会私聊你们去那个给你们的那个 recipe， 但是你们就可以在家里面尝试做咯。OK， 这样我要介绍就是我们今天做这个 event 这个Elle Vire 这个品牌呢，我们今天有做 offer， 然后我们也有送的东西，送的产品，所以我们就是你买够120块，我们就会有送这个 cheese cutter。cheese cutter 是 cut cheese 只送不卖啊，然后呢，如果你买过80块，我们是送这个piping bag， 这个piping bag 很好用，真的很好用，它是hygiene 的，就好像现在你们其实要做 cookies 啊，butter cookies 或者 piping 的东西，这个很好用，你们不用怕它会爆还是怎样的，然后它还会有这个牌子，这个牌子 ，OK， 这个是买过80块你就可以买到了。OK， 我的老师要继续聊，说我们讲给老师先，说你们
Welcome back to some of you and welcome to some of you who are new. My name is Arief and I will be demonstrating the Matcha Crunch. Well, it sounds a bit intimidating, but basically it is what we call a composed dessert. A composed dessert means something that has more than one element. In this case, it has 3 elements. We have the base, we have the gel, and we have the whipped ganache. At any point of my explanation that you have any issues with, please just ask. I am definitely here to answer your questions. Okay? Right. So, first things first. Everybody have tried the food already? So, you tried the matcha crunch already? No?
Do you know which one?
Do you know which one is the matcha crunch?
The one with orange jelly on top, and then with whipped ganache, sort of like a mousse, and then there's a crunchy bottom. So that is the matcha crunch.
Okay, without any delay, this class is going to be slightly technical, just a little bit, because it has a lot of steps. But I will try to make it as simple as possible so we can all understand each other. Alright? So let's begin. The first component that I want to make is what we call a matcha whipped ganache. What is a ganache? Ganache is a filling. What is a whipped ganache? The ganache, you make it light. How do we do this? Very simple. First things first, I'll introduce the ingredients. If you have already scanned, you will get something that looks like this. If not, I will explain to you now. We have the matcha powder or green tea powder, green tea. Alright. We have honey. Honey usually comes from the bee. I don't know from anywhere else. Honey. We have whipped cream. Elle Vire, 35%. Means if it's anything lower than 30%, it cannot whip. Alright, so we also sell the cooking cream, which has about a fat percentage of 16%. That one cannot whip. You can whip until tomorrow, so it won't whip. But this one will whip. Alright, cream. Alright, we have white chocolate. This is a couverture white chocolate we use from the brand called Calbo. Some people say Callebaut, but it's Calbo. They also sell this downstairs in HOI. And in 2.5 kilos, you get one bag. How much? Not sure. We have very nice HOI stuff over here, you can ask. So, white chocolate. Alright. And finally, we have another cream which is the same. Cream. Alright. I'm sorry, this is for the life. Alright. Okay. What do we need? Very simple. First things first, I need you to understand this particular product, you have to make it in advance. Okay, because like everyone else, you need to understand you cannot whip cream that is not cold. So this one I'm going to cook it, so if it's hot, it will not whip. The fat needs to be cold in order for you to incorporate air inside. So I would always advise to make this at least 3 hours before. But don't worry, we're not going to wait for 3 hours. I already have some prepared inside. Okay? So first things first. Everybody clear so far? If you have any questions in I can also speak Malay very well because I'm Malay, so you can ask me in Malay also, no problem. Alright? Okay, first things first, we take the cream. We put inside pot like this. Alright? So you take the cream, you put it inside the pot. If you want to use the microwave also, it's possible. All you need to do is find a microwave safe container and you can pop it inside the microwave. The idea is just to warm up the cream, that's all. Okay? Now, if you have honey and you put it inside the fridge and it's very hard to take out, you can pop it inside the microwave for a few seconds and then you can take out everything. Because I understand honey is not cheap, you know, and then you want to get all of it out. So you put everything inside like this. Okay, beautiful. I like honey. Honey is good. One thing you need to know why we put honey inside. Very simple. Honey has hygroscopic content, means it will keep moisture very long. So means something will stay moist very long if it's high in sugar. And honey is about, if I'm not mistaken, about between 125% sweeter than, sugar is 100% sweet, honey is much more sweeter than sugar. So it keeps it better, it keeps things better. So if you have something that's high in sugar, it usually keeps longer. Okay, so I have my honey and my cream inside and I'm going to warm it up. Right, you're going to ask me, Chef, I don't like green tea. Can I use something else? Yes. What do you like? I like cinnamon. Put a bit of cinnamon, it's fine. Okay? But this is versatile because I'm using white chocolate. White chocolate does not have much strong flavor. So you can actually flavor your whipped ganache however you wish for it to be. So, while that is warming up, I'll take the bowl and I take the chocolate and I put together like this. Okay? Right. This one has very fine particles. If you want, you can sift it in. So I have like a sifter, I put it on top like this. Put inside like that. And then I just get it through. Inside. And I take a whisk and I'll just whisk it together. For me, whenever I'm using something like this, it's always important to know whenever you say I want to make a coffee with ganache, I can use Nescafe or any instant coffee in that matter. Or what I would always advocate is you take the roasted coffee beans, you warm this up, you put them together last night, so it will infuse to have a nice coffee taste, and the next day you sift it out, perahkan dia, and then you top up a bit, then it will taste like coffee, natural taste. That's what I would do. Any kind of flavor, usually it's best when you infuse it the day before. Okay? But then if you have no time to say, chef, I got a family lah, I don't have time for this, you can do straight away. But it's always best, remember, flavor is always best when it's there longer. You know, it's like, you know, when you cook gulai or curry at home, when you make the first day not as good as the next day, the flavor is already released. Same thing. So now as you see, it's steaming, right? Oh, can I have back the thing? So it's steaming. What am I going to do now? Thank you very much. I'm going to take the infused cream and matcha, and I'm going to pour it onto the white chocolate. Yep. Okay, I put it on to the white chocolate like this. Right. And then I will mix it up. Because of the heat from the cream, I don't need to melt the chocolate. The idea is just to get something hot. If your cream is just warm and your chocolate is already melted, this is also can work. But I will always boil my cream first. It doesn't have to boil for a long time. As long as it steams up, it's enough to melt it. So now it looks like this, like this. Okay, right. What am I going to do next? Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to immersion blend it. This is what we call a stick blender or an immersion blender. If I'm not mistaken, HOI sells this as well. Yeah. Their brand is Kenwood, right? Yes. They sell this kenwood, very good kenwood, like this. I like the mixer. They also sell that. Okay. There's an offer, even better. Alright, so what am I going to do? So basically, I'm going to get my chocolates together. Thank you. Nanti pakai balik tak basuh. Oh, where's my thing? I'm going to put it inside a jug like that. Okay. Okay, for some of you with businesses, right? Everybody I see a lot of time they use what we call whipped topping, right? Whipped topping, everything whipped topping. Okay, whipped topping is good, but a lot of people will tell me, chef, whipped topping is good because whipped topping can hold at room temperature. When you whip cream, normal whipped cream, like you just whip that, cair. But if you make a whipped ganache, it's as good as whipped topping. It will be stiff also when you pipe, and it will stay because there's chocolate inside, there's cocoa butter inside. So it will be a good alternative for business owners to make a switch. Say you say, instead of saying I have a cream cake, I have a whipped ganache cake, means like, wow, what is whipped ganache? I know it's something new. It works very well as well, and it can give you that premium feel. Alright, so now this is the whipped ganache, first part. I'm going to take my immersion blender or stick blender, I'm going to put it inside, and then I'm going to blend it. Then someone's going to ask me, chef, but I don't have this, how? I say it's okay, you can use a whisk, no problem, can use tangan, tak ada issue. Tapi this one gives you a better emulsion, that's all. What is an emulsion? An emulsion basically means two things that don't combine with each other very well with an emulsifying ingredient, it combines. So we're making an emulsion. So I blend it. It emulsifies. Now I'm going to put the second part of my cream, and I put inside slowly as it Wih, lajunya. Okay, one cool thing about this, after it's done and you put it inside the fridge, you can keep it and use it as you want to use it. Means you don't have to make and whip. You whip as you want. So it just works like a flavored cream. That's why I said, imagine if you have a business and you have a coffee whip ganache, right? And when you make your cake, you have to sell 2 cakes today, then you can just whip up your coffee with ganache and then you can put it on. That's fine too. Okay, so as I do that, that's done. Doesn't smell like anything, it's okay. I'm done with the business. I'm going to sift it one more time just in case. Right. So now it looks like that. It's just like this. Okay? It's just fluid. Like cream. Okay. One thing about something with high in fat or cocoa butter and things like that, you cannot leave it exposed if you want to keep it. So most of the time whenever I do a product, I would always take a plastic wrap and I would have a contact with the liquid itself. Why? I don't want skin. Okay. If you say, chef, I'm very environmental chef, I don't like to use plastic, then I say, it's okay, you can use paper, no problem. So it looks like this. Like this. This. Okay. Right. I would recommend keeping this inside the fridge for at least 3 hours. And then you're going to tell me, chef, I don't have 3 hours. What do I do? I say, no problem. Find a container that's big and then you pour. The bigger the container, the bigger the surface area. The bigger the surface area, the faster the thing cools down. That's all. Same concept. Or if you want, split it into 5 containers. It cools down faster as well. No problem. So you might not need 4 hours. You might just need like, I don't know, an hour, half an hour. So I put this in the fridge. And then the one that I've already done, you can see me from the top, right? Yeah. When it's cold, it thickens. It's thick. Thick. My assistant is going to walk around and show you how thick it is. Thank you, assistant. Alright. So that's what happens when it's cold. Jangan pegang. Saya nak pakai. Right. So we have to do 4 things. 1 thing already done. Okay. Any question about the whipped ganache? Question? 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 Okay, because saya tak nak ada skin. Dia akan ada kulit. Pernah buat custard tak? Bila you buat custard, you biarkan dia macam getah-getah tu kan? That one we don't want. So when you put it on contact, this won't happen. Also, at the same time, okay, katalah you nak buat something yang you tak nak ada bubble lah on the surface kan. Kalau you tak plastic wrap, you tarik semua bubble-bubble you hilang. Smooth je. Tu trick lah. Tu extra tak ajar tu. Okay. Alright. Alright. So, yes. This one, if you keep nicely tight like this, I don't know, 3-5 days kan, no problem. As long as janganlah bawa keluar, bawa masuk balik, bawa keluar, bawa masuk balik. Don't do that lah. Just keep it inside the fridge a long time, it can last. When I was working in the hotels before, we do this in the beginning of the week. So we do like on Sunday until the next Saturday. So we're still using the one, but we bought like a very big container like this. Also can. So that's why I said you can use it for your business lah. Like you do one batch for that one day, you do production, you do different creams, and then there you go. You can keep. Yo. Okay, so that's why I cakap depends on the fluctuation. So if your fridge, like I said, if you have a business, it's not like your house fridge. Your house fridge you memang selalu buka. Businessnya you tak pakai, tutup lah, you biarlah dalam tu, ataupun you letak dalam inside where the temperature is constant. There is no way you can moderate the fridge temperature to be the same the whole way. The only way for do that is don't open the fridge lah. But then also at the same time, like I was explaining my earlier class, there's difference between the commercial fridge and the home usage fridge. The commercial fridge has a bigger blower, so it usually can recover the temperature faster lah. So that's just different, and the insulation is different. Yang in getah dia tu tebal sikit. Okay, right, so first part done. Soalan? No? Going once? Going twice? Done. Alright. Next one. If you refer to your recipe, we have this. I'm going to make this thing called pear and yuzu confit. Apakah ini? Pear and yuzu confit. Well, it's just a term. A confit actually means you're cooking something in its own fat. That's the actual term lah. But in this case, fruit confit or something like this, you cook it in sugar. Okay, so what are the elements in this confit? The first one we have this called fruit puree. Over here I'm using the Ravi fruit puree. I like Ravi fruit because it's very premium and they don't add sugar into their purees. Right? Do they? Do they add sugar?
Depending on which
but most of the time we don't do this lah. The reason they add the sugar to the puree is for preservation. So in this case, I have two kinds of puree. I have the pear puree and the yuzu puree. Yuzu puree, apakah? Yuzu is a citrus. It's very famous in the east of Asia. So I would say in Japan, in Taiwan, some parts of China, very popular yuzu. What does it taste like? It tastes very, very classy, very high end. You know what? I'm gonna my assistant over here. Tak apa. No, smell. You have to smell it. You have to smell it. Don't. Ada just di sini ya. Tak ada. I don't have it. It smells very high class. Really? Don't worry. After this, I'm gonna.
It smells like lime, calamansi, orange, lemon, almost together.
If they were friends. But it's actually a very, very premium citrus, and it's also very expensive actually.
If you do go to Jaya Grocer or BIG, occasionally in season during summer you'll find. So satu biji, the price is about 110 ringgit. Satu biji ya. You beli satu orange maybe 4-5 ringgit. Satu biji 110.
Bau dia lain. It smells nice. So why we're using this? Number one, because of course it's our mandate as professionals in the industry to introduce new things to everybody. At the same time, this product is very versatile because every time I hear lemon, let's try something else, you know. But if you say, chef, I don't want to use yuzu, chef, can I use something else? You can use lime, you can use calamansi, ataupun bahasa Melayu dia limau kasturi, or you can use bergamot, atau bahasa Melayu dia limau purut, or you can use any other citrus, oranges as well. That's fine. Okay, this is okay. You can use all those. Boleh. Sedap bau dia. Did you try that one just now yang you tunjuk saya tu? 50 lah tu. Terkejut. Right. So, how do we use it? Very simple. We have a mix between pear puree and yuzu puree. We have pectin NH. We have brown sugar, 2 parts. First of all, nobody's asking me what pectin is. Why? Everybody knows it? Okay, great. So I'll just move on with my class. Okay, pectin is actually a natural substance you find in fruit. You can extract from fruit. All fruits or vegetables has pectin. What do we need to use it for? A pectin is a natural setting agent. There's a few setting agents out there. There's gelatin, there's cornstarch, and there's also pectin. What we use pectin for, we use a lot of pectin in jam making. So all of the jams, they either use a bit of pectin, or certain fruits have a very high content of pectin that you don't need to put pectin inside. Like if you have cooked strawberry jams homemade before, or raspberry jam, you don't put any pectin, also it akan menjadi pekat. So however, you need to understand pectin is non-thermoreversible. Means bila you dah pakai, dia tak boleh cair balik lah. Macam gelatin, you use boil, when it's hot it will melt, when it's cold it will set, and then can go back like this. That means thermoreversible. This one is non-thermoreversible generally lah. There's all types of pectin. For this one we're using pectin NH. Then you're gonna ask, where do I get pectin NH? Well, HOI sells pectin NH. They sell it in a small packaging. You don't need a lot. Over this one I only need about 2.5 gram, very small amount. Okay, and brown sugar is brown sugar, you get it from HOI, brown sugar. Okay, so what do we do? First things first, I take all of my puree and I put it inside my pot. Green, blue, white, I don't know. So all my purees go inside, and then you're going to ask me, Chef, why is there a pear puree? Yuzu puree on its own is very acidic, atau masam, or hen swan, very sour. So we want to use something else, which is the pear puree. So everything is inside here. Okay, now if you notice, I have 2 points of brown sugar, a smaller one and a bigger one. Why? Well, the reason is very simple. You need to break the pectin particles apart first. So it means you take the brown sugar and then you take the pectin, and then you have to mix it together. Brown sugar dan pectin. Okay, right, like this. You need to break it apart. If you just put the pectin direct, it's going to clump up. Then that's not going to be of any use to you. So you want to do this. And also, please, ladies and gentlemen, we don't put it when it's cold. You need to warm up first, something that's above 40 degrees. Only then you can put your pectin. Before that, you cannot put your pectin inside. Why? It's not going to activate. So we're going to change. Yep. I don't need this anymore. Alright, here we go. I warm up. Then I say about 40 degrees. If for some of you who's not sure what 40 degrees is, it's slightly warmer than your body temperature. And if you say, I'm not going to put my hand there, I say it's okay, use a thermometer. If you say, no, I'm not going to use a thermometer, I say if it starts to steam up a bit, means it's higher than 40 degrees. That's all. Okay? So I warm it up like this. I pull it here. Okay, okay. Wow, cantiknya. Okay, right. So when it starts to warm up, steams up, then I put my first part of my pectin, it boils. Then I put my second part of my pectin, it boils, and then I stop. Hello? Right. Okay, okay, sini. Can I? Atas. Atas.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Okay, can. Alright, so I warm it up. At any point, do we have any question? Question? No question? No? Everybody's good? Great, I like this crowd. Everybody's very smart. Okay. So, jam making process is similar to this. You need to warm up. So every time when you want to make a jam, it's the same process. You warm it up 40 degrees, you add your pectin with your sugar, and then you boil it, and then you go different. But I might need to reiterate, jam making is a whole step on its own. If you want to be getting seriously into making jams, you might need to learn the density of products. So you might need a refractometer. So you drop one and then you have a look, see, because you want a certain density for all of your jams to be a certain thickness. That's all. Right, so as I move on, it's taking me a bit of time before this thing warms up. Okay, I can see a bit of steam. I dump in my sugar and my pectin. There you go. Thank you very much. Okay, then I boil it. When it starts to boil, I add my second part of my sugar. Can we see? Right, so after a while, this thing is going to thicken. And then after that, it's going to boil, and then I'm going to add. Jams are a very nice thing. I personally like jams. The best jams in the world come from this place called Christian Ferbe. One spoon of that jam, you won't want to try anything else. That's the best eating experience I've had in my life. And they have only a few types of jams. Okay, as you can see, it starts to boil. It's simmering now. So what I'm going to do next, so you to understand, I've already have one that's already on standby. My kind assistant is going to never mind, we'll just smell this later. Alright, so boiling. Is it boiling? Can you see it's boiling? Alright, now I add my second part of my sugar. Okay, what it didn't mention there to you, you can also add a bit of coloring. For me, I would add yellow, because this color is not very exciting. But mine I have already colored it. Can I get a small container? Yes, this one. So now it's simmering. As you can see, it starts to thicken. Can you see the skin on top? No? Can you? Is it? Yes. Skin. Okay. Right. So skin on top. We boil. It boils. Can I adjust? Adjust. Okay. Right. Starts to boil. After it boils, you just stop. When can we use it? When it cools down, you can use it already. Remember, when it starts to boil, you stop. The longer you cook this, the more jellified it's going to be. So it's boiling, right? Can we see it's boiling? Okay. Stop. If you want to add your coloring, this is when you add your coloring. Okay, please, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important that I need to clarify to everybody, when you add coloring into something, please make sure the coloring makes sense. Meaning, if I'm making something that is strawberry tasting, I put red color. If I'm making something that is lemon tasting, I put yellow. I don't put blue. Okay? Oh, you laugh, but I've seen. Let me ask you this question: what flavor is blue? And you say, oh, blue is blueberry. It's not really blue. You know? So blue is not a flavor. So let's try to taper off from that a bit. Okay? Right. Okay. So once it's done, same thing. I'll take the jellified thing, put inside here. Okay. My kind assistant is going to walk around with this. Okay. And let them smell it. Okay. Any question? Any question? Any question? Right. No question. Fine. This is the usual lah. That's the thing. That's what we're making. Itu dia. Right. So second component done. Okay, I let her go around first, and then we do the last the third component. Is it raining? It is? Habis baju saya. Tak apa. It's okay. Right. Boleh, you can. Because yuzu is quite expensive. And it's not readily available anywhere. Personally, if you ask me, there are certain fruits that we have in Malaysia that is underused, which is very good. For example, things like mangosteen, manggis, very nice flavor, very subtle, very classy, but people don't use it. I don't know why. You know? That's why mangosteen. Like for example, mangosteen sorbet is very nice. Nobody uses it, but I like the flavor. It's very classy. Yes. Same thing like this. As you can see, it starts to have a skin. Skin. Right. Okay. We're going to put the plastic on, and then we're going to put it inside the fridge. Okay. So no questions about the yuzu confit or gel. You can call it both. All right. Question. Ya. Yes. Tak boleh, not the same thing. Gelatin comes from the animal, pectin comes from the plant. If you say, can I change it to agar? Also cannot. Not really the same thing. It can only be the same thing if you have a very high powered blender. Because when you use an agar jaring ke, agar powder ke, and you boil, it can jadi keras kan. If you have a very very powerful blender, it blends it very fine, and you can get the same way. But that's like banyak process. That makes a very nice gel as well. So what I would do usually, I would blend agar, because agar doesn't have any taste. I would blend it very very fine, and then I put it inside a vacuum pack machine, and it will extract all the air like. Then it's going to become like gel rambut but has a flavor. No, really, very nice. You should try it. The ratio that I would use is 1 kilo, 100, 10 gram. 1 kilo puree, 100 sugar, 10 gram of agar. Whatever puree, whatever sama je. That's what I would use all the time. Right. Any other question? Yes. Okay, why I want to put the sugar twice? Well, basically, this is a very small recipe. When you want to make pectin jam, you make a big chunk of recipe. Sometimes it doesn't dissolve properly. So for example, when I make a big recipe, say for example 5 kilos of sugar, I want to make sure all the 5 kilos have been melted and boiled properly. That's why I boiled it in parts. It's just a habit of this one is a scaled down recipe. Can you put everything at once for this amount? Yeah, you can. But usually that's what I do. Yes, question?
Chef, what if we replace with other fruit? Is the ratio for the pectin also the same?
No, not necessarily. Okay, so if you say how much this fruit, I cannot answer. But what I can do is, most puree brands out there, there's a few. Over here I use Ravi fruit, but there's Boiron, there's Pontier, there's any other brand out there. They usually in their website, they would have how much pectin to put to make what jam with what puree. They will have a table there that they will recommend. So I will always go back to that. So for example, if you're using Ravi fruit puree, you go to the Ravi fruit website. Most of the time they will have a table of the selection of puree and how much pectin to put in whichever, because the content of pectin of every fruit is different from one to the other. Berries has a higher one, apple has a high pectin as well, certain fruits don't have as high pectin. Does that answer your question? Did it answer your question? Great, I like this. This we continue, okay? Alright, so moving on. Sharp scissors. Right. We're gonna make the third item, which is the cream cheese almond streusel. Well, what is this? This is basically something like a cookie dough, that we make into streusel. Streusel is the Anglo-Saxon term is called crumble. Same thing. Streusel, crumble, sama je. Different name, different language. That's all. Alright, so what do we need? Ground almonds. Ground almonds. If you have a different kind of nut, you want to use hazelnut, okay. You want to use peanut, can. You want to use kacang tanah, peanut, you can use gajus. What's that called? Cashew nuts, can, no problem. Flour, low protein flour, cake flour, or all purpose flour, fine. Brown sugar, brown sugar. Salt, you can use sea salt or iodized salt. If you use iodized salt, then you might want to make it less a bit. So example, the recipe calls for 2.5 gram or 2 gram iodized salt, you use maybe 1 gram, because iodized salt is slightly saltier than sea salt. Iodized salt. Salt. Butter. I'm using the one over there. Let me have a show. I am using unsalted gastronomic butter. Good. This is what I'm using now. Okay. Why I like to use Elle Vire? Let's be honest. I know I'm doing a demo for Elle Vire right now, but I also like the product, honestly, and I am quite familiar with it. That's why I am very comfortable with doing the demonstration. So I'm speaking highly of the product because I've used it before many times. Alright, just like Jonathan was saying just now, why is the Elle Vire butter better? I would say because in the Elle Vire does not have like a gigantic lot of cows and then they get the milk. It's not like this. So they will contract small farmers within the region, and then they will get their milk from them, and that way they only take farms where the cows are only between 75 to 80 cows per farm. So meaning it's not a very big farm. They don't like stretch out the milk from each cow. So the cow eat the very good grass, and the grass give you this. So remember, like I was explaining in my earlier class, something that is very premium usually does not come from the human being. They come from nature. For example, if you say, have you ever had Japanese fruits before? It's very expensive, right? Okay, minus the import tax, the reason is because, for example, one melon tree can provide 20 melons, example. But the Japanese prune it in a way one melon tree can only provide 10 only. So all of the nutrients and all of everything only goes to 10 melons. That's why the price is so expensive, because they let nature do the work. So like this, the cows eat very good quality grass. The cows are not as stressed out. That's why the butter is better. Okay. Next one, I put the cream cheese. Whoop. Do we have cream cheese? Oh gosh, never mind. Like this. Cream cheese. Ada? Tak apa. I dah ada standby punya. It's okay. So I'll show you the way. So you put the cream cheese inside. So you put inside here. And you put inside here. And then you put the pedal. So what's going to happen is it's going to turn into a dough. Alright. So when it becomes a dough, what I'm going to do to make the streusel is my box. Right. Tak apa. Ya. Oh dear. Happens. So what I want to do, I want to rub the things together until it becomes a dough. So as you can you see up there? No. Boleh. Oh tu TV. Boleh. So as you go on, for me, some people they just like it to get the crumble from here. I don't like to do that because I want my crumbles all to be about the same size. How do we get the same size? I will show you soon. So in between, do you have any question? No? No? Okay, I'm going to stop halfway and I'm going to show you. Alright. Right. Okay, this crumble. Okay, usually crumble they look like this. Can you see? Right? But the problem is, it's not the same size. Right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work it more until it becomes a dough. Something like this. Can we see? Right. So when it becomes a dough, you can make this beforehand as well. Right? You find yourself a grater. Grater. Right. Right? And then you're just going to grate the dough. So all will be about the same size. Just like that. So that's what you want. Okay, so this one you will have similar sizes. That's all. That's why I do this. So in some professional kitchens, what they do, they keep something like this inside the fridge. So when they want to have the same crumble, they will just do this thing. They do that. Or if you have like the very small holes, they just press through the hole. So they're going to take this, they do that. Some people they keep it in the freezer. Some people they bake it straight. For me, I can bake it straight. And I already have the sample. My assistant is going to go walk around and show you what it looks like after. Tunjuk je. Jangan makan . Okay, so when you bake it, it's going to become slightly darker. So this one, you bake. So you bake it into something like that. It becomes crumbly. Right. Apa? Okay, so how long do we bake it for? So we bake it for about 10 minutes. But you have to check from time to time. Ini clear itu I nak basuh, I nak nanti nak ganache. Letak dalam bowl. Right, so any question? No? Yes? No? Great. So as you can see, now it becomes like this, right? About the same size. Can we make this beforehand? Yes, we can. We make and we put in an airtight container. Can already, done. How long we can store this? If you bake it well enough, it's dry, it can last you even for a month, no problem. It's just like a cookie. But the idea is, make sure it's airtight. If, it's fine, room temperature is fine. If you don't put it airtight, then, you know the term, masuk angin? Lau hong? Is that it? Lau fong? Okay. It's actually not masuk angin, it's masuk air. Because air has moisture and this is high in sugar, it's going to become soggy. Just like your chips, your biscuits, the reason it becomes stale, lau fong, apa bahasa Melayu dia tadi? Lemau. It's because masuk air, not masuk angin. Alright. If the angin, no problem. The angin contains the water, it becomes, because something is high in sugar, it's hygroscopic, it's going to absorb moisture. When it absorbs moisture, that's become lemau, you know, stale. Right. And there's also the whole starch degradation, but that one is a next level thing. No need to explain it. Pointless. Alright. So there's that. So as you can see, it's baking. I put about timer for 5 minutes, give or take. So the key is always look. Turn, because this one has a fan, so the side is going to turn darker quickly. So that's why if you can see here also, it's not all the same color. Some of it is slightly brighter, something like this. Okay. Now, if you say, Chef, I don't like this, can I use something else to make the crunch? You can. You can use Rice Krispies, you know, like the puff rice. You can use foitin, which is a very, very thin biscuit, like the love letters. What do you call that in biscuit? Yang goreng, quick update. Like this. You know, you can use that. Also, no problem. Just bake it apart. Alright. Same thing. Right. So as that's baking, we're going to go to the next thing. We're going to make the crunch, and after we make the crunch, I'm going to build it. So this is where it gets interesting. All right. When you want to make the crunch, you only need 3 things. All right. You need cocoa butter. They sell it here as well. Small container. Cocoa butter from HOI, very good. All right. Same white chocolate. Why white chocolate? Because white chocolate does not have a very prominent taste. It's just sweet and milky. If you put dark chocolate and if you have a very mild fruit, you won't taste the fruit. You just taste the dark chocolate.
White chocolate tu brand apa?
White chocolate is Calbo.
Kenapa?
Calbo. Not Calbo, I'm not sure what, they only have one white chocolate Calbo here, right? Yeah, only one. 33% Calbo, like this. Right. So what do we do? Very simple. White chocolate, cocoa butter, inside plastic container, microwave. Small. Any question so far? No? Yes? You? No question. Right. Make the crunch now. Oh ya, rasa tak panas lah. It's not hot. Tak apa. Panas tak?
Jangan.
Okay, cool. Right. Use this one is I think it's a house brand. They have this called Kokomo, right? From China. The price is berapa harganya? Tak pasti, boleh check. They sell it downstairs. There's two kinds of silicone mold usually. The good thing about HOI is that they have choices. You can get the premium European brand one, or you can get the local brand, I mean the China brand one. The China ones are usually about half the price of the premium one. What is the difference? The quality of the silicone, not so much difference, it's just the design. The European one has a bit more newer, trendy design. The China one has a bit more generic design. Means they have the round one, the square one, but they don't have like really intricate, trendy type of mold. Say it. Bagus. Right. So cocoa butter and milk chocolate and white chocolate you mix together like this. Like this. So why do we put cocoa butter? Well, maybe, but one of the main reasons why we put the cocoa butter is because we want to reinforce the setting of the product itself. Means if you just put white chocolate with this, can it set? It can. But the problem is at room temperature, especially where somewhere there's not such a strong air conditioning, it will become sticky. And if you have already tried the ones that are on display there, if you took it, there's no problem. You can hold it with your hand without having sticky fingers. That's why you use cocoa butter. There is also such a thing as a cocoa butter replacer. I don't really advise using this, but if you must, you can. It's just not as good, not in my opinion. So how do we do this? We take the streusel or the crumble, we put it inside, we pass it to our assistant if you have one. I happen to have one. Okay, and then you make sure your cocoa butter is nicely melted. As you can see, because of the cocoa butter as well, the fluidity of the chocolate is quite high, it's very viscous. Okay, we mix it together nicely, we throw it in, and then we're going to coat it. Up to this point, do I have any questions? No? No? Lady at the back, no question? How about you, sir? You know, I think I'm very clear. Everybody does not seem to have any issues. Alright, so as I go on, I mix it together. Make sure everything is nicely melted. Once it's quite viscous. Alright. I put my spoon aside for a while. Okay, please use a big bowl. Why? Because you want to make sure everything coats properly. A small bowl, later you get your streusel everywhere. So you put the chocolate inside here. Can you check? Yeah, it's brown, it's brown. Oof. Okay, this was less than 5 minutes. It's already quite brown. Yes?
May I know what's the temperature for?
180 for deck oven, 175 for fan oven. How long? 5 minutes to see and then turn the tray. Panas. Alright, so I mix it up. See, if you have a big bowl, it's easier. I get some more of this white chocolate, don't waste. This is some good stuff, some quality stuff from Calbo and HOI. Right. Okay. Now it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look like this. Okay. Right. Now it's gonna look like that. Okay, it's so good you can eat it on its own. TM. Right. Sungguh enak dimakan begitu saja. Yes.
Actually, it's a good way as well for this method. If you are doing granola on your own, you can add hazelnuts, chopped nuts. Where to get them? HOI, of course, they have all the nuts here. You can go nuts about nuts.
Yes.
You can add more of all these things, muesli, roasted oats, raw oats, and then you can make your own granola as well. You can put dried fruits as well. So this one may be also a different take on your, I would say like chocolate cake base or cheesecake base as well.
That's correct. I will highly advocate for this. However, please don't advertise it as healthy though. It's very sweet, this chocolate. So yes, it's a granola but not a healthy one. Alright. Okay, so I'm using the silicone mat. Huh? Okay. Right. Okay. Over here I'm using this shape. You can use whatever shape you want. Round, rectangle, square. So I take a piece, I put it inside. So what do I want? I want it as flat as possible. Ah, beautiful. Right, ladies and gents. Can fit. I already calculated. Muat, jangan risau. Can. Right, while I'm doing this, I'm going to transfer this extremely tough work to my extremely reliable assistant. So she's going to fill it up. Chocolate strawberry, eh? Well, okay, that's a good question. Okay, so actually for me, if I'm doing a base for something, right? If I'm doing a base, say this one is for fruit, I don't really use dark chocolate. But if I just want to eat it on its own, fine. If I'm making a chocolate cheesecake, yes, go ahead. So that's why I said, every time when you want to do something, as professionals or as hobbyists or something, what we want to do, what we want to focus on mainly is we want to understand the idea of composing a dessert. This is very important. Why? Because number one, it represents you and how your thought process is like. So for me, before you want to do something, you want to innovate something, you might want to consider a few factors. Number one, who is this for? Right? What age group? This is for an older crowd, a younger crowd. Can it be extremely modern or exciting? How big? Where you're going to serve it? All this play into a factor. So when you want to do something, first you have to think of the theme first. If you want to do a cheesecake, what goes well with the cheesecake? Do you want to play it safe or do you want to become a bit more adventurous? All this play into a factor. So your question is, can I change it? The answer is yes, you can. How you want to change it? Up to you. But what you want to change it to, please be considerate to your composition. It is not spoken enough more as professionals that we just copy each other and then suddenly we just add something new. Oh, it's something else. Please make it relevant and make it understandable and make it relatable to people. Does it answer your question? Thank you very much. Ui, banyaknya. Oh. Oi, kau bagi kawan ke? I'm playing. Alright. Wih, lambat ni. Alright, so it looks like that. Okay. I go inside the freezer. Yeah, I will go inside. Alright, so just finish it up. Yep. So what are we going to do? Now I'm going to build the composition. We have the cream, we have the jam, and we have the base. The base is the last one. So the first thing I need to do is I need to whip up the cream. After that, I want to make the jam. All of the composition I already have. So let's begin. This is the most exciting phase, the building. Alright, first things first. I'll grab my cream. This has been done yesterday, so it's definitely chilled. I'm just going to place all of it inside the mixing bowl. As you can see, it's quite thick. Oh, it's so thick. Thick and nice. Isn't this nice? Right. Okay, now I'm going to debunk a very strong myth. Has anybody whipped cream before? Yes? What's the main problem all the time? Overwhip. Right? Why is it overwhip? You whip too fast. You whip too long. Right. Okay, so as a general guideline, what I always advocate is that first thing, make sure your cream is cold. Number one. Number two, make sure your environment is cold. Okay, it doesn't have to be extremely cold, but cold enough. Suhu bilik tu boleh, just don't whip the cream near where you park your car, outside, beside the window where there's sunlight. You know, don't do this. Okay, so say for example you say, Chef, I whip the cream nice, but when I want to serve it melts. What do? Can I use topping cream? Then I say, here's the dilemma. The whipping cream taste is very superior, very nice, very light, and it's not waxy, means there's no aftertaste. The topping cream, the good thing about it is it's very stable, and at room temperature or slightly warmer it can hold, right? So what do? Oh dear, what would I do is, if I must serve it in a warm environment, I would mix it. If you put 1/3 topping cream and 2/3 whipped cream and you whip it together at the same time and speed, it will whip and it will be slightly more stable, but you are sacrificing on the taste a bit. But if you buy our new product, which is the, what was it called, the one with the mascarpone, that the sublime, no issue, whip it very strong. All right. Okay, cool. What do? Whisk, bowl. I never whip my cream at high speed. I never do this. Why? Because as you are rushing the process, you create uneven bubbles. When it's uneven bubbles, it can either collapse easy or it will overwhip very easily. I will just use a medium speed or something even less, especially if the thing is cold. Okay. Any questions so far? Going once? Twice? No question. Personally, this is I think my second or third time using a kenwood mixer, and I have to admit, I'm very impressed, because the mixer that I have takes quite a long time to whip. This one Cepat je. And it's so convenient because they sell it here. They sell it outside. How much is the price? Do you have an offer now? Today is a special offer. No, really, I'm very impressed with this machine. Alright, so when whipping cream like this, especially with chocolate inside, I wouldn't advise whipping and then you're walking around, play with your kids. Don't do this, You watch it, it's gonna become thick very quick. And always, when whipping cream with fat and chocolate and all that, always whip it one level before you want it. Why? When you start whipping, because of the coolness of the cream, it's gonna go to that level that you want. So if it's very nice in here, means it's over already. Okay, so it's always one level before. Very important. Because most of the time I notice for people, they say, when I whip the cream it's very nice, but when I want to use it, it splits. That's because it's over. Okay? Wait. Again, my trusted piping bag. Any question? No? 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 Gentlemen at the back, no question? Unclear? Great. Alright. Okay, ladies and gents. Did it take a long time? No, right? It was barely 2 minutes, I think. My cream wasn't, I don't think I spent a long time whipping it. So you see it's like that, right? Okay. This is quite runny, correct? Okay, so if it was me, this is the level that I would slow down and I would see. Because from here to become stiff, it's very, very quick. Alright? So over here, if you're not confident with the machine, you can just whisk it by hand a bit more, or you can change to a hand whisk, or you can go back to the machine. But this is the level where you want to start to be very, very careful already. Alright? So I put it in, continue it a bit more. Let me have a look, see. Just a bit more. Almost. I don't need this, but I need that. Thanks. Can you open it? Thank you. Okay, now it's whipping a bit more. Alright, so I had the extension of time, so probably about less than a minute. As you can see, done. It still has that movable peak. That's what we want. Okay? So anything stiffer than this, when you pipe it, it's going to start to become grainy. Okay? So always one level of what you want. Also, if you whip a lot of cream like this, especially with chocolate, what's going to happen? It's going to become very compact. So, tak cantik. you want the volume. Alright. Dah sabun main nak balik ke? Okay. Okay. Alright. I got my cream. I got my gel. I got my gel in my piping bag already. I got my base. So just now I put it in the freezer about, already can take out. Okay, for me if you want, I like to have like this a bit rustic look, like not so flat, but if you like flat you can put like that, but I don't like, I like this. Oh. My God, that sounds like really heavy rain, huh? Oh. Right. Ya, soalan. Tolong lah. Okay. Tak ada soalan sedih. Sedih. Yes. Benda apa? Yes. Yes, yes. Tak payah. Tekan sikit je. Jangan mampatkan sangat. It's like anybody do cheesecake before? Yeah, right? Have you ever wondered sometimes when you cut the cheesecake go here, the base go here? Have you ever seen that before? I see that a lot. And people always wonder, why like this, huh? Why like this, huh? Sebab dia terlalu mampat. It's very, very compact.
Oh, so kalau dia ada ruang, dia boleh...
Yeah, dia akan tegak sikit. You pernah buat agak-agak yang ada dua layer tu tak? You pakai garpu, you kena cari-cari kan? Before you tuang, yes, same concept. So when you make a cheesecake base or anything, you don't want to tekan. You want to like make it a bit loose. Alright? Wih. Ni bukan Shah Alam kan? Oh, risau. Alright, so do not put so much cream inside the piping bag. Why? Two reasons. One, your hand is warm. It's going to melt it. Two, the further you are from the piping bag, the less control you have. The closer you are to the piping bag, the more control you have. Okay, so when you have more control, you can have a nicer piping. Just like this. Okay, don't want to be so far away. Just like when you're cooking, you don't hold the ladle here. You hold the ladle here. Alright? Right. Oh, yo, lepas lah. Balik ke tujuh lah. Lepas. Alright. Now we're going to do the Instagram worthy part, which is the finishing. For me, I like to do this. I like to scrape and scrape so I have a clean piping bag. That's the only reason why. And then I test a bit first. Cantik lah. Alright, done. Okay, how am I going to do this? If you look at the picture, they pipe like this. I don't like. Side by side. I want to do my own style. Okay, so all I do is very simple. I pipe one big block, one small block, one medium block, one big block. Okay? One big block, one small block, one medium block, one big block. So that's what I do first, right? Tak ada yang kecil ni tak? Ni pun okey ke? Ada air panas?
Tak ada. Tak ada.
Ada air? Right, so we have that. It looks quite cute. Alright, I take a small spoon, I guess. I make sure there's a bit of water. I take the big part, I press it a bit, and I take it out. Press it a bit, and I take it out. Press it a bit, I take it out. Alright, then I test my jam. I will pop it on top. Alright, and I will add a bit here. Alright, now I already shower, I already put my best clothes. I put makeup on. Yeah. So today I'm feeling a bit romantic. So I have a nice raspberry. And just to seal the deal, I got some nice flowers here. These are edible flowers, by the way, so you can actually eat them. What do they taste like? A bit like nothing. Okay, I'll take this one. I go back to purple. I go back to yellow. And then I go back to purple. Because I can. So now I give to you my dessert. Snow powder? Kenapa?
Tak, saya tanya
Oh.
boleh ke?
Boleh. Alright, what do we need snow powder for? Snow powder is for the powdered effect. That's fine. But at the same time as well, if you put snow powder on this, you can't see it. So you want to have, say for example, you want to put the green tea powder. So to put the green tea powder, you put the snow powder on first, and then you put the green tea powder. Because if you just put the green tea powder on, it's going to smudge. The snow powder is going to act as a blanket, so your green tea powder stays on. So when you put in the fridge, you take it out, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be staying nice. Alright? So before I end this beautiful class of ours, I need to ask, do we have any questions?
Kita tadi Chef Rizal.
Are we happy with HOI today?
Yes.
Are you happy with Elle Vire today?
Yes.
Are you happy with me? Yes. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I'm happy with my assistant as well. Alright, so this concludes the entremet. I mean, this is what we call the petit gâteau size, which is a small size. Okay? You can also make it bigger, no problem. You can make a whole cake out of it as well, it's no issue. We're gonna give you a free gift as well. So, we also have this in front. I already did a lot, so you can try it if you like. The only thing I don't have over there is the raspberry and the flour, but the rest, all the elements are the same. Alright, yes, question.
If you could just explain a bit more how to prevent it becomes much if you put the green powder.
Okay.
What powders do you put?
Okay, you put the snow powder on.
Snow powder.
Okay, snow powder is basically dusting sugar with starch inside. What kind of starch differs from one manufacturer to the other. Usually they use cornstarch. So the higher percentage of starch, the higher percentage of that thing not being dissolved. See, the thing is, when you put icing sugar on something, the moment you put it inside the fridge, you take it out, the icing sugar will melt. So because the high content of starch inside, this doesn't happen. So if you're making a tiramisu, for example, you want to put it in the fridge and you want to dust it with cocoa powder, you want to dust it with snow powder first, and then you dust it with the cocoa powder on top, and this thing won't happen.
The snow powder is decor powder, right?
Commonly it's known as dusting sugar or snow powder. If I'm not mistaken, over here they sell it as snow powder, and they sell it by 250, 500 and a kilo, if I'm not mistaken.
Or tastes like some red.
Okay, it does taste a bit dusty, if you ask me. So that's why I say use it with caution. Don't like really go crazy. Just put a bit, and then you put whatever else that you want to put on top. And if you say, I don't have snow powder, I want to do it now. So what you can do is you take your icing sugar and you add a bit of cornstarch inside. How much? It's a very small percentage. For example, if you're dusting 100 gram, maybe you want to put 5 to 10 gram of cornstarch. That's it. It works. It's not similar because it's not manufactured, but it can do if you really need it at the moment and you don't have snow powder. Anything else? Yes.
Kalau untuk jual punya kan, nak jual dan masuk dalam packaging dia tutup, dalam kapal dia tutup. Dia masuk dalam freezer boleh tahan berapa lama?
Freezer.
Nak bawa.
Chiller. 3 to 5 days boleh. 3 ke 5 hari boleh. Tapi contoh dia, if you have like a big production and you tak nak sacrifice the quality, so what I would do is, yang paling banyak ambil masa adalah base dia. So you buat base siap-siap, letak dalam peti ais, boleh tahan lama, dia takkan tukar pun sebab dia dah coat dengan coklat. Bila you nak pakai order tu, you just whip the cream and then you letak je atas. Macam tu je. For me, I would buat dengan mold dan bawa keluar masuk dalam freezer lah, because you nak guna mold untuk benda lain. Boleh. So as soon as you dah siap, if you're done with that, you unmold it, you can put it inside the chiller freezer, that's fine. Letak baking paper, layer it on, baking paper, layer it on. You can put it in a nice container, you can wrap it, and you can use it as a dessert that you want to sell a lot, or you can use it as a restaurant service dessert, that's fine too. You're welcome. Anything else? Yes. How much we can sell it? This very good question. I will answer it as best as I can. So, just aside of how we want to do a determining factor of how we want to sell something in the food and beverage industry, this is how we do it. So, the selling price is actually, the cost price is 30% of the selling price. Itu je. So if the cost price is 30% of the selling price, then you make some money lah. If it's higher than 30% of the selling price, means you lose money. So the lesser the cost, the more money you make. But the lesser the cost, the quality of the product is usually not that high. So I would say in hotels and whatnot, they try to aim between 18 to 22% of cost, because hotels price their products at a very high price. So if you ask me, it's RM10, RM5, I don't know how you're going to calculate this. Take all of the recipe, go to the shop, how much per gram everything costs, combine it, that's whatever percentage that you want to put. You can say that's 15% or 12%, and then you times, that's the selling price that you should put in. Does that answer your question? You're most welcome. Anything else? Well, if there's nothing else, do we have anything else?
No. So, thank you very much for attending the class today conducted by Chef Arief. As Chef has mentioned, the dessert, it's in smaller portions. You can try that. And the dessert. So, if there's anything you would like to ask in regards to the
Okey, dah tamat kita punya kelas untuk hari ini, untuk sesi yang kedua. Jumpa lagi next week, insyaAllah. Follow rapat-rapat kita punya page House of Ingredient untuk tahu next food tab.
any applications or if anything that you know you're facing some issues
untuk tahu next food tip kita brand apa, dengan chef mana kan. So saya nak bagi tahu semua food tip ni digalakkan terbuka untuk orang ramai, digalakkan datang untuk rasa kita punya makanan dan timbul ilmu. Benda ni secara percuma je, sebab tu saya first ajak you all semua datang untuk tengok sendiri macam mana food tip kita, macam mana event kita. Lagi satu, beli secara walk-in di hari event tu akan ada promo dan free gift. So free gift apa? You orang kena datang. You all kena datang sebab macam hari ni memang promo, banyak sangat free gift yang kita nak bagi. Kalau beli secara online pun boleh, pergi ke hoibaking.com. So untuk hari ini kita dah habis, dah habis waktu. Terima kasih mana yang dah join live kita. Jumpa next week. Jangan lupa follow rapat-rapat Fish House of Ingredient kita. So itu sahaja daripada saya. Jumpa lagi next week Yana dengan kawan saya Tin. Okay, jumpa lagi next week. Bye.我听听这边，so 今天的这个直播我们就回到了尾声。so 刚刚老师所做的，你们都看到了吗？请你们点个赞，给个老师，因为他解释的真的很详细。然后这个牛油，这个的 whipping cream 全部都做的都很详细。所以你们点个赞，你们就帮我们去分享，分享过后呢，你们还可以去储存去回播放回去看回去咯。然后呢，如果你们想知道今天老师所做的看不到，你们可以分享点赞分享了过后呢，你们先私聊我们会分享那个食谱给你们大家，你们回去可以自己做咯。然后呢，你们想知道怎样去购买这个东西，我们在我们这边这个平台 HOIbaking.com 里面，你可以看到我们你 search 打 HOI Elle Vire 这个牌子，你就可以买到它的 butter 的东西全部。然后我们今天也是有优惠咯，我们优惠就是你买够全部的它的牌子的话，买够我们就会有送东西，我们会有送东西给你们 ，OK？ 你在我们的平台那边你都可以看到哦，记得是 HOI.com HOIbaking.com 那边找我们就会有的，然后买过100块以上我们是有免邮哦。除了今天我们有这个 Elle Vire 这个品牌之外，我们还有 kenwood 的这个。今天我们特别优惠是做999，它原价是1599，今天我们只做999。所以刚刚老师有推荐到我们的这个 kenwood 的这个牌子，所以今天是卖999了 ，OK？ 只有今天而已哦，还有今天的赠品也是今天而已 ，OK？ 我们下个星期我们下一次我们还会有这样子的这个直播，所以你要知道什么呢？请留意我们的这个 HOI 的 Facebook， 你点赞分享 ，OK？ 然后呢还有什么的话，你就留意在那边，我们会有 upgrade 给你们，我们会有给你们知道我们有什么东西有优惠，什么东西有时我们会分享我们的食谱。好的，今天我们就到此为止，我们改次再见，下次见，拜拜。